Hello, friends. Welcome to Strength and Opening 101. I am, as always, excited to teach this class. Today's class, we're going to be exploring straight arm strength with a little trickle of some hip opening. So, what is straight arm strength? For people who haven't gotten the chance to explore this topic, it's exploring your strength while keeping your arms straight. So, most movement that people practice with strength training is bent arm strength. So it looks a lot like bending your arms, like benching or bicep curls or tricep extensions. And then there's straight arm strength where you can have like um, shoulder flexion, shoulder abduction with a weight. And that's what we're going to be exploring. Both have really uh, potent results within them. And because so much of the conversation is created around bent arm strength, I thought today would be a nice day to hone in on straight arm strength. So the three movements that we're going to hone in on is going to be the planche, the front lever, and a handstand. And you might think, I can't do a planche, I can't do a front lever, I can't do a handstand. And that's okay because we're going to show modifications on all the movements so that people can feel comfortable. So, with that being said, if anyone has questions throughout the class, let me know. As always, I am super excited to get to show this class because it's honing in on some of the nuances in movement that I've been learning. A little bit about me, just a 30-second spiel, is that I am a physical therapist, a physical therapist, as well as a yoga instructor, a rock climber, an acro yoga instructor, and a student of Ido Portal. So it's been amazing to get the chance to just be involved in so many different movement practices, and to get to show it is something that excites me. So why don't we go ahead and get right into it? We're going to do a 2 to 3 minute uh, sun salutation warm up. So we're going to do just a few sun salutations to kind of get our shoulders moving, and then we're going to go straight into some sets and reps of straight arm work. Again, if people have questions, if there's any topics people like, this is my kitty. Her name's Aaliyah. She tends to come in and out, so don't mind her. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So, we're going to go ahead and just come to our hypothetical front of our mat. Uh, and coming from this position, just coming into a tall standing where we can find our feet shoulder width apart and our chin half an inch back. So just bringing the chin half an inch back, shoulders rolled back and down half an inch, stomach pulled in, glutes are tightening, and from here we inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold, plant the hands. Step both feet back into your first plank. From your plank, we're going to transition into a down dog. Lift the hips, keep the arms spread, and here we are in down dog. And then again, we push forward, plank, back, down dog, forward, plank, back. And just keep this motion going. All we're trying to really do is get our shoulder warmed up in a wide variety of movements. So we're really trying to get our shoulders to feel like, I know this pattern, I've touched it at some level. Doing this for 2 more reps. 1 more rep. And then coming to the front. From here, slowly lowering to the ground. Hands are going to come into a V position. So I hope everyone can see me up. We're going to create a V out in front of us and just do 10 pulses up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hands come underneath shoulders, back into down dog. From here, we're going to just slowly walk the feet forward to touch the hands, and then walk them right back. So we let them come forward, and then we let them come back. And we're just going to do 3 reps. Back to down dog, all the way forward, all the way back, and one more rep, all the way forward. This time stay at the front. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, palms together, right over heart center, down. Inhale, back up. Exhale, down. Final breath, inhale, arms up. Palms together, exhale, down. Forward fold. Planting the hands, we're going to step both feet back into our plank position and put so much weight into the right hand that the left can come up. So you can do either a full side plank or you can lower the right knee down to the ground, and that'll be an assisted side plank, whatever lets you feel like you're getting engaged, but not overly engaged. Holding this for 3 more breaths. Deep breath in. Final breath. Left hand comes down, and we come onto the left side. Holding yourself strong. Again, you can lower the left knee if you'd like. 3 breaths. Slowly lower the right hand down to the ground and walk the feet forward. 3 more breaths. All right, beautiful. So that was just a small little shoulder warm-up that I like to do. It's just us getting some angles in our shoulders from up and down to side to side. Really good one that I have often prescribed to climbers as well, except I usually recommend about 10-15 minutes if you're going to go into a climbing session. So anyways, the rules of the game today are straight arm strength. As we explore the topic, know that it doesn't feel like bent arm strength. It doesn't feel like at the end you get this crazy pump where your biceps are like feeling blood gushing to them, or your pecs or your tricep. It's going to feel like I'm not doing much. But the strength is something that comes from a deeper sense of stabilizing work that doesn't pronounce itself in a pump, if that makes sense. So just know that as we go through these exercises, you may not feel your typical pump. Maybe you will. It just I'm just opening that conversation up. So I'm going to show the first 2 exercises we're going to do, and we're going to do exercise 1, exercise 2, 90-second break, and then we repeat exercise 1, exercise 2, 90-second break. We do need a pull-up bar for today, so please do have a pull-up bar for the front lever work, and then for the planche work, we'll just be needing the floor. So I'm going to go ahead and show a planche introduction. So for the planche, we want to set it up where our hands are going to be right under our shoulders, and we're going to arch the back, right? So we're arching the back. So as my hands are underneath my shoulders, I'm going to lean forward as far as I can. If I can, I want my knees tucked into my chest, as so. And I want to be as light as possible on my feet. If I get strong enough, I'm actually even going to let my feet elevate off the ground. And this is for those who are strong enough. If you are only going to maintain toes on the floor while keeping this, that's fine. That's a great place to start. So weight the hands, and if you can, lift the feet. And that right there is what we call a tucked planche. The full planche is going to be letting the legs come out the back and elevate off the floor. It looks really crazy for anyone who has ever seen some people who have done the training to get their full planches. What we're going to do is a 15-second hold. So it's going to be a 15-second hold of the planche here, and then we're going to go into a front lever. So we have 2 variations of the planche right now. Either A, you keep your feet on the floor, and you just start leaning as far forward as you can. I plant the hands, and I'm going to lean forward. Boom, 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 boom. and if I can, I lift the feet. The second exercise is the front lever. So I'm going to show that before we start our first set. So right here is my pull-up bar. So there's 2 variations. There's actually like 7, but I'm going to just show 2 for a beginner and an intermediate. So the beginner is if you have no ability to be able to come into, if you don't have the ability just yet to come into a ball position, then what we're going to do is, step 1 is you're going to hang off the pull-up bar, and you're just going to bring your knees as high as you can to your chest. Here. And you're just going to do that for reps until you get the strength. So I would suggest doing that for as many reps as you can, and we're going to do it for 15 seconds. The second variation is you go ahead and try to bring your knees all the way up. So we're here. Boom. And we do a 15-second hold here. So those are the 2 options I want to show. If you're more advanced and you want to start exploring options where you start letting one leg come out, that's up to you. But I don't want to show that for anybody who's a beginner, just in case. I don't want to get people confused by too many options. So leave a comment, be like, hey, I would like the next progression. So then we'll go into the next progression. But let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off with our planche. And I'm going to set up a metronome. So a metronome is just nice because it keeps tempo. So it'll be just doing the tick, tick, ticks every second. And that'll help us stay involved with our 15-second count. And then right when we begin, we're going to go all 5 sets, 90-second breaks, and just try and stay as consistent as we can. I do this workout twice a week, and I have seen tremendous progress in both my planches and front levers. In about 3 months, that's when you'll have a major breakthrough. And in the meantime, those 3 months kind of just feel like nothing is happening. But that's okay. So let's go ahead and start it off. I have my metronome going. Maybe you can hear it. And we're starting off with the first tucked planche for 15 seconds. 3, 2, 1, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Woo! And then right into a front lever. So again, you have those 2 options where you can just bring the knees up to the chest for these next 15 seconds or all the way up. So ready? 3, 2, 1, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I hope that angle was okay to kind of show. And then we're just going to set up a 90-second timer. Great. So planche and front lever training is something that, again, like I said, you don't feel much of, but it has tremendous benefit. The benefits are the stabilizers within your shoulders are often just not given enough stimulus. We're just constantly working on our primary movers, meaning like the big guys, the bicep, the tricep, but we don't give a lot of love to our rotator cuff, our like teres, just all these tiny muscles that are in our shoulders there to stabilize them. So developing a straight arm program like we're doing right now, just 5 sets, 15-second reps, holds can really change the game in what shoulder stability can look like. And this is kind of what it feels like maybe you're kind of feeling the first set and go, did I do that right? yeah, if it's your first time training straight arm work, you are probably not going to feel much at all because the patterning to access those muscles, it's very like detailed, and you might be like, I don't even know what muscles to fire. So that's okay. It's just going to be something that your brain will become more intelligent in, and we are about to hit set number 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and come into it. 90 seconds are up. 3, 2, 1, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 15 seconds, good. And then off we go. Into the front lever. Again, you can just do knees to chest. 3, 2, 1, begin. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15. Woo! All right. 90-second break. If people have any questions, let me know. We really want to just let our muscles rest during this time so that we can start building strength, because one of the key components in strength training is long rest breaks. And 90 seconds isn't even the longest rest breaks. Sometimes when I'm really looking for my strength training, I can take rest breaks up to 4 or 5 minutes. So I'll do something, and then 4 or 5 minutes later, I'll redo it. And that's a really good rule you can do for bouldering if you're trying to develop your strength in bouldering, is hit a route, and then at the end of you trying the project, you can take a 4 or 5 minute break and then retry it, and that will be a great way for you to start developing the strength there. All right, set number 3. Staying consistent, staying strong here. 15 seconds. 1, 2. All right, and then right into the front lever. Three, 2, 1, begin. All right, 15 seconds. 2 more sets we have, and then we'll move into some handstand work. on this next set that we have coming up, or our fourth set, I want you to hone in on your breath. And make sure that during the 15 seconds, you're not holding it, that you're maintaining steady breath flow, and that you can feel strong in your connection to your breath. Alright, let's begin. 15 seconds. 3, 2, 1, begin. 1. Alright, right into the front lever. Oh man. Alright. 4 sets down, one last one to go. How is it feeling, guys? Is it something that feels like you're getting that pump, or does it feel like I'm not doing much? And that's okay if it feels like I'm not doing much, because that's kind of what the straight arm day feels like. But again, the benefits of what it can create for your stability, as well as so many other facets of calisthenics. For example, if you want to develop your handstand press, meaning that what's a handstand press? So there's a handstand, but then there's the handstand in which you don't jump to get into it. You just put your hands on the ground, like as so, if I have my hands here, and I would lift my whole body up into a handstand. And what really helped me develop my handstand press was straight arm training, developing my stabilizer strength so that I can lift my whole body up. So definitely worth our time to investigate. So many reasons too, and something that I feel like a lot of rock climbers do get to explore, which excites me. Whenever I look at rock climbers, I see lots of people training front levers and planches. Alright, 5th and final set. 5, 6, 7, 8, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Alright, and let's go ahead and get ourselves up. Last set. And down. Woo! 5 sets. So we're going to go ahead and give ourselves a 2.5 minute break now. And investigate handstands after. So I'm just going to go ahead and explain a little bit of how a handstand works while we have our 2.5 minute break. So I'm going to show 2 drills for today. Or am I going to show 1? Let's see how much time I have. I think I can show 2. I think we can make time for 2. So the very first drill, there's variations of it. So if you're finding yourself a little more intermediate in your handstands, I'm going to show an intermediate version. And if you've never done a handstand, or you're like have yourself like a 2 to 3 second long handstand, then this will be a good place for you to start as well. So for the beginners, what we're going to be doing is a back to wall handstand. So a back to wall handstand is pretty much you finding yourself near a wall, kicking up, and then holding that handstand. The purpose of a back to wall handstand is it lets you feel what it's like to go further than that access point. So you're in your handstand and you're leaning into the wall, so you get the chance to feel what it's like to be further into it. Another one that I'm going to be showing for people who are more intermediate is called a trap 3 handstand. And so a trap 3 handstand is where you're going to actually pull yourself off of the wall through the strength in your shoulders while doing your handstand. And so this is just a really great tool to help solidify some of the musculature around your handstand, so that when you find yourself in handstands, in case you ever get yourself out of balance, you're actually able to create pulling sensations to recalibrate. You can let your handstand get way out of balance and still pull yourself back up. So that's what the trap 3 handstand allows access for. So let's go ahead and show both, and then by then our break should be over. How do I want to show this? All right, I think that's a pretty decent view. So with our first handstand, for the beginner version, all I want you to do is have your hands shoulder width apart. Fingers are going to be spread. And when you come up top, focus on squeeze the legs, pull in the stomach. So why don't we just pretend we're in a handstand, but actually not do a handstand. So come against the wall. This is what it is, back to wall handstand, except we're going to be flipped upside down. And what I want you to do is your hands are going to be up, shoulder width apart, spread your fingers, squeeze the legs together, pull in the stomach, just as so. Squeeze the legs, pull in the stomach. And we're going to hold that for 30 seconds. Just breathe here for a moment. Really get that cues tuned in. Squeeze the legs, pull in the stomach, spread the fingers. All right, let's go ahead, and I'm going to just show what that looks like upside down. So you don't have to do it right this moment, because I actually want to show the intermediate version before we get upside down. So this is what this looks like. I'm here, I'm squeezing the legs, I'm pointing the toes, and I'm pulling in the stomach. My fingers are spread, and I'm just holding this position. And that's a really good just beginner drill to start getting some strength out of your handstand. A lot of people think that using the wall is a crutch. I am still using the wall. I have 60-second long handstands away from a wall, and I still use the wall every day when I practice my handstand, because it is a great, great mentor. It teaches me my lines. It lets me have strength. So please use our friend here. The wall is very helpful. The trap 3 handstand for our intermediates out there. What we're going to do is you're going to place your palms so that they're facing away from each other. So fingertips are facing away. And I'm going to have my handstand be actually 1 to 2 palms away from the wall. So from this position, I have them wider than my shoulders. Fingers are pointing away, wider than my shoulders. I'm going to come up onto the wall, and I'm going to try and get my whole back to touch the wall. So my whole back touches the wall. Then I'm going to try and pull myself off. Just like that. Whole back touches. Pull myself off. Okay? And that's what's going to let you start flirting with how do I get out of balance and pull myself back into balance. So that's an intermediate practice for handstands. And yeah, I'm excited to see whichever one you choose and how it feels in your body. So let's go ahead. I'm going to set the metronome up. And we're going to go for a 30-second hold. Okay, so if you're doing the regular handstand, 30-second hold, or if you're doing the trap 3 raise, 30 seconds of just touching the wall, coming off. Do as slow as you can. Control it as much as you can. Okay? Let's begin. 3, 2, 1, up. Lean into the wall. Pull yourself off. Make sure your upper back touches the wall, your shoulders. And that's 30. Woo! Coming down. How did that feel? Did it feel very difficult, tricky? As a break, we're going to be doing a different exercise, and we're going to do 3 sets total. This one's actually a hip opener. It can require a yoga block depending on how open your hips are. Straddle waves. We've shown these before. I'll show it with the yoga block for the first set. So in the beginning, I used 4 yoga blocks to be able to do this movement. Now I only need, actually I don't need any yoga blocks anymore. My hips have opened up a lot since I started this. So you can find as many yoga blocks as it takes for you to have a straddle position and be able to sit upright. So from here, what we're going to do is try and wave our spine forward and touch our nose as low as we can to the ground, but it's okay if it doesn't even come close to it because I don't even get close yet to the ground. So we're going to lower, forward, and as you go as low as you can, then try and straighten your spine, reach the hands forward, come back up. The whole time I want my heels pushing into the ground, actively push, because we want our the muscles that we're trying to open to be strong enough to push down at end range. We're going for 10 reps. On the last rep, 10-second hold. So 10 reps. On the last rep, hold it for 10 seconds at the bottom. Turning down. 1, up. 2, up. 3, up. 4, up. 5, up. 6, up. 7, up. 8, up. And last 2 this time. 10-second hold. Well, not this one. 9, up. And now this one. 10-second hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. And then we're going to give ourselves a 90-second break and do that for 2 more sets. So handstands and hip opening is actually my favorite to partner up because you get the chance to do something that's extremely challenging for the upper extremity, and then as my break, I usually do a hip opener. That's just how I pair up my workouts. So I'll do, just like we're doing right now, a handstand, hip opening, handstand, hip opening, handstand, hip opening. And we're just going to do that for 3 sets. If anyone has any questions about what they're experiencing in their body, people are like, hey, I tried my handstand and it was rough. Let me know, because that's what I'm here to do, is give some good insight. All right. Second set for the handstand. Choose the variation that thrills you. Oh, I'm getting a phone call that I can't accept right now. Alright, let's go ahead. Second set, hopping up. Touch, back up. Touch. Good. Or just holding your handstand. We have 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, off. Woo! And then right into our hip opener, our straddle waves. So spreading the legs as wide as you can and creating that waving pattern down. Down, forward, up. Down, forward, up. That's 2. 3, 4. Push those heels into the ground. Point the toes. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10-second hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. All right, 90-second break. And we're gonna do our third set. Shake it out. Get yourself ready for the last round. All right. Coming into the final set. All right. Onto the wall for our third handstand. Choose whichever variation is fun for you. And up. All right. That's 30 seconds. Last time we're going through the straddle waves. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, we're going to do one last straight arm burnout drill. Burnout? Yep, burnout. So I'm setting ourselves up for a 2.5 minute break while I explain this. So this one is pretty simple. I'm sure people have done some variation of shoulder taps, but it's a really great one to just start building dynamic strength in your straight arm work. So the way that this one works is there's variations depending on how advanced you want to be in it. The very first level is setting it up as a plank. So you can come into either just knees on the ground plank, and just go shoulder tap, shoulder tap, shoulder tap, shoulder tap. Or you can come into full plank, shoulder tap, shoulder tap, shoulder tap, shoulder tap. And then the next level is to slowly come into a handstand of some sort. So you can do this version of a handstand where you kind of walk up a little bit, and maybe this is where you're at, and then you go shoulder tap, shoulder tap, shoulder tap. Or the final variation I'm going to show is the back to wall here, and you do shoulder tap, shoulder tap. So we're going to do 2 sets of 60 seconds. So pick whichever variation you want. You can do the plank, you can do the halfway handstand, you can do the full-blown handstand. So whichever variation feels comfortable for you. We have about another minute for break time, and then we're going to start our first 60 seconds, and then we'll take 2 minutes off, and then our second 60 seconds, 2 minutes off, and we'll end with some stillness for the last bit of our practice. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. This is meant to be where your body's starting to feel a little bit of fatigue. If it doesn't, then that's great, because that just means that you've already developed some integrity in your straight arm work. And this will be a challenging completion to see, can you still maintain your integrity with your shoulder taps. So 60 seconds, we're not going to count how many taps you get. That's not the point of this. But instead, just how much endurance you have. So I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute and 15 seconds. 15 seconds to get us ready. So we have 10 more seconds to get into position. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and begin. So whatever option you choose, make sure that you finish the 60 seconds, even if it means you have to go to an easier option. I typically start in this handstand shoulder tap, and then I end with a plank if I can't complete it. Ooh. All right. That is the first 60-second round. And now we're going to take a 2-minute break. If it felt too hard, then maybe regress. Or you can even do plank on knees and do 60 seconds of shoulder taps. If it felt too easy, start with a harder one for this last set. Let it be something that feels, again, that lights you up, because we're near the end of today's practice and we want ourselves to feel lit up. All right, 5 more seconds for rest time. And we're about to go ahead and set the timer now. Let's do 1 more minute. Find the variation that lights you up. And we're going to hit that strong. We have 10 more seconds to get into position. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And beginning. Oh, man. All right. And we're coming into the final 10 minutes of today's practice, which is perfect because I wanted to end with a little bit of stillness for us today. So you can go ahead and find yourself in a posture that's comfortable for you. If it's something that looks like a seated posture, whether it's kneeling, whether it's in a crossed position, whether it's even lying on your back, we're going to just take a few moments to start finding ourselves enjoying the opposite of what we've been experiencing for the first 15 minutes of class, which is an intensive movement practice. The complete yang to movement is the stillness. So I'm going to give us a very difficult task. We're going for 6 minutes of complete stillness. And so before we start, just take a moment. There's a few rules here in these 6 minutes of stillness. Rule number 1 is you are encouraged to be still. You don't have to be still. You can leave if you like, but I am going to hold up to the integrity of let's be as still as possible. So swallowing, not allowed. Scratching an itch, not allowed. Everything in this is about stillness. Moving your tongue to lick your lips, not allowed. Even the breathing that is required, minimal movement. So I don't want, it's an internal practice, meaning the point of this is to get a small glimpse into what does our mind go into. So that's rule number one, stillness. Rule number two, you're not going to die. I know that you're like, how is that a rule? It's mostly a statement. It's just something that may come into your mind in some form or another. It may not sound like I'm going to die. It's going to sound like this is so itchy, I have to itch it. You don't have to itch it. You won't die if you don't itch it. You'll be fine. So at some level, it's going to come from the fear of like something terrible is going to happen if I don't do. Nothing terrible will happen. We're just experiencing. So I'm going to set the timer here, and I'm going to be also joining in on these 6 minutes. So I will not be involved in any cueing. I won't be reminding anyone of anything. We're just going to experience it together. 6 minutes on the clock. Find your position. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and begin. Slowly letting yourself break your stillness as we've come to the end of class. Let each time we get to practice stillness bring its own lessons. It's not for me to tell the lesson, but for us to just experience it. I'm happy I got to experience this practice with you guys as we constantly explore what it means to strengthen and open the body for the rock climber, but also just to maintain a practice in our body that lets us feel strong, mobile, connected, playful, and free. Thank you guys for coming today. And if anyone ever has questions, let me know.